Vin got up and played a couple of songs, and it was like probably the most defining moment of my musical life anyway. It was like he just told a big long story and told loads of jokes. Everyone was laughing, and then he played a song called Silver and Gold, which is about a miner who gets laid off the mines and he starts to make wedding dresses, and he makes one for his daughter, and everyone was crying, and everyone knew the words, and yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It was written by a man called Bryn Phillips. It's a true story as well, apparently. But yeah, I think that made me, especially because I was listening to like a lot of like big, like, you know, like US rock bands, and then here's this man that like looks like me, sound like me, is from the same village as me, and he's like, you know, yeah, I get goosebumps every time I think about it. And I sing that song to my daughter now, and I like to think that she'll sing that song to her children, and it will come from that, you know.
Welcome to the Crescendo Podcast. This is episode 32. Today's guest is Dale Husband, the songwriter behind Glad Town Ghost, a project that blends Appalachian-inspired folk music with the stories, landscapes, and realities of East Cleveland and Teesside, which he's now in. His recent releases, including the Switching Hours Dream Song, TS10, and Riverbank, have established him as one of the Northeast's most diverse and distinctive emerging songwriters. So Dale, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you, Trevor. Thank you for having me. That was a nice intro as well. Thank you for that.
Appalachian.
Appalachian,
Okay.
yeah. I think that's how you say it.
That's how you say it, yeah. I found that word very fascinating and very, very like, because your kind of music is so fascinating, you know, kind of folk music, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I think the Appalachian thing, I think a lot of people say that, but I think that part of America used to be connected to Scotland, I think, like by tectonic plates. But I think you hear a lot of the Celtic influences in that as well, to be honest.
Yeah, great. I mean, if somebody's heard your music for the first time, like maybe somebody watching this podcast as well, like which song would you play for them first and why?
Yeah, so I think my most recent single, Riverbank, is probably what I'd play first.
Yeah.
Just because I think sonically it captures what I want to be, what I want to be doing kind of sound wise, but production wise. It's still like a folk song with a lot of like kind of synth elements and like some indie elements and quite a lot going on like studio wise. So that's kind of what I want to do, kind of push that kind of side of things. So yeah, that's where I'd start.
Yeah. And like, do you find, because you've been doing this for a while now, and like, do you feel like you have your own sound now, or have you always had your sound?
Yeah, I think I'm starting to develop it. I think when I was a bit younger, I think I took on influences and tried to replicate them a bit too much. But these days, I listen to a lot of music, but I'm trying to take bits and pieces of things and try to kind of mishmash it together. But yeah, the last year or so, I've kind of found out kind of what things work for me. I'm trying to kind of like remember those, and I've got kind of like a sound, so to speak, now. Yeah.
I mean, there's so much inspiration that comes from your music and like the music of Teesside as well. Like I remember when I first came here, it's actually crazy or bonkers, I would say, like how many types of music there is here. And like,
yeah,
like, do you think like Teesside has its own kind of music as well? Like, kind of
I think
way?
it's something that I've found myself, to be honest, Trevor, because I went to university in Manchester so I went from here to there, and I've always found that Middlesbrough, Teesside has got like a much more diverse range of music, and I think it's because we don't really have a great deal of venues. There's not so much a scene for, you know, rock, a scene for indie. It's more so that we all kind of share spaces and share influences, and I think that's I think creativity in Teesside and the Northeast is like really underrated, to be honest. I think we're one of the best places like, in the world, mate.
It's amazing. Like I literally started this podcast because of what Teesside's given to me and a lot of other people. And like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the biggest misconception people have when they listen to music?
I think when people listen to my music, they assume that I'm like a really sad person, which I can be sometimes. But yeah, it's that kind of like archetype of, you know, tortured artist, which some of it is definitely true. But yeah, it's more of a vehicle. And like not all of the songs are negative. There's some songs that people think are negative that are quite positive, and some songs that I've written from a positive place that people think are quite dark. But it's I'm generally quite chipper.
I think most of us are, but you know, we like very sad songs. So but sad as in more like expressive, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to be like kind of thoughtful and like in perspective, but it's all kind of big themes, you know, life and death and all these things. But yeah, not too sad.
Yeah, like did you grow up in East Cleveland, and like how was music there? How was music growing up?
Not a great deal of music, to be honest. I think
Okay.
from the school I was in, a school in Broughton, which is like rural East Cleveland, there's only three or four of us that played music really. So there wasn't a
Mm,
great deal of opportunity, like a lot of covers bands, pub bands. It was good for me because when I was like 15, 16, the only bands that I could join were like 30-year-old men, in pubs and things.
yeah.
So I was playing bass for a long time as a teenager, and I think that got me quite good quite quickly. But there wasn't much of a music scene. That's why I live in
Ah,
Middlesbrough now. But it's a very beautiful part of the world, and
yeah.
one of the good parts about being from there is that you don't have much to do other than kind of practice guitar, really,
This is,
and like look
but
at beautiful scenery.
yeah, there must be some inspiration in your songs that you've written down, like because of your childhood and the places that you grew up with. Like, is there any like examples about that? Or
Oh, most of my songs are written with the area in mind.
mm,
The most recent one, my favorite one, is a song called Motherland off an EP I brought out last year, and
mm,
that's about. It's kind of a short story that I wrote from characters that are from a village that my dad's from, Lingdale, and it was quite therapeutic. It was a place that my grandmother's from, and I went there for the first time in years. And then on
mm,
the way back, I kind of wrote that song. Yeah, there's something about kind of going to places that you recognize from a kid, and it's always
yeah,
kind of there in my mind, to be honest.
yeah. And then your songs are basically storytelling at its finest.
Thank you.
That's what you need to have as a folk artist. I mean, what inspired the name Glad Town Ghost? Like, it's a stage name, but
Yeah.
like, how did you get that?
I used it for an old recording project a long time ago. I
Mm,
have recorded stuff under my own name, and it used to be Gladtown Ghosts. There was a few of us, and then I just
yeah,
took away the S. Really, I
yeah,
just I just like to have a name rather than my own name. It feels like a bit of a shield, really, especially if I want
yeah.
to write songs that aren't autobiographical.
Mm,
Kind of feel a bit silly saying this sounds like a Dale song, but something that sounds like a Gladtown Ghost song starts to make sense. But
yeah,
yeah, I just kind of wanted something that sounded good and looked good on a logo that wasn't my own name, to be honest.
yeah. Sometimes we mask our names. Like,
Yeah,
everybody knows me not by my name, but oh, you're the podcast
yeah,
guy. Like, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't want you to know my real name.
exactly that. Yeah, a similar
Yeah,
situation.
very well. But like, has folk music always been like that vehicle for your storytelling and your music?
Yeah, I played in a lot of like quite heavy metal bands as a kid,
Mm,
and then also played folk music alongside that. But yeah, the kind of the simplicity of just having you and a guitar and being able to kind of capture something from nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's always something that I've loved, to be honest.
Like, any important places that you've been and like you put in your songs?
Yeah, there's a place, I don't know if anyone will know it, near Loftus called Catesty Gill. It's like a
Mm.
nature reserve on the cliffs between Saltburn and Loftus, and that's
Oh,
somewhere
yes.
where I'd
Mm,
walk from Loftus to Saltburn all the time, and yeah, just that kind of scenery, like the gill and like the old mine shafts, just that kind of imagery is always in my head, to be honest, when I'm writing.
that's great. Like, you have one imagery like for most of your
Yeah.
songs. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm trying to set it like a kind of world building,
Yeah.
kind of offering really. So it's something that I do. I write songs from other people's perspectives just to protect myself,
Mm,
really. So say if I want to write something about something bad that's happened to me, I can write it from a character's point of view. That
oh yeah.
way, every time I'm playing it, I'm kind of shielding myself, if that makes sense.
Mm,
But yeah, I mean, it's quite fun. There's things that I can say from a character's point of view that I won't really want to kind of get into myself, if that makes sense.
yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, do you find it difficult? Like, you're writing about somebody else's perspective, and like sometimes you really want to talk about something that you feel like
Yeah.
emotional or passionate about. Sometimes there must be a challenge
Yeah,
with
it's
that.
just kind of framing it in a way, to be
Yeah.
honest, because there's things that have happened to me or that are autobiographical that I can just kind of put in someone
Mm,
else's shoes. Some songs are like just what happened in my own life, but I try and stick to the positive ones.
yeah,
Like
of
anything
course.
negative, I'll change that one. But yeah, sometimes I've realized you kind of get quite attached to the characters as well. There's a song on the album that I'm recording at the moment
Mm,
that's about a couple of characters, and then it ends quite tragically, and I kind of felt quite attached to them. Like I wrote them quite a bit, so
yeah.
it kind
Yeah.
of got me thinking how authors must feel. Like when they've written 4 or 5 books and then they have to kill someone off, it must be quite upsetting, really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I asked that question because, like, when you go into like music and the music industry, like, you always think like, I'm gonna be sort of famous or that kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like, when was that moment that you thought like, oh, it's just I can do a lot, but still not be like
yeah.
extremely famous or like
Yeah,
well known or something like that.
yeah. So I wrote an article about it recently, to be honest.
Mm.
for a good magazine called At the Barrier. There was a chap called Vin Garvet from Loftus, the same place where I'm from, and he's
Mm.
famous in like the folk circles and like internationally. But he like, he could walk around the streets of Middlesbrough and like no one would have known who he was. And I saw him play at an open mic night in Loftus. And at the
Mm.
time, I was still playing quite a lot of rock music, and I wasn't really into folk as such. And Vin got
Mm.
up and played a couple of songs, and it was like probably the most defining moment of my musical life.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was like he just told a big long story and told loads of jokes. Everyone was laughing. And then he played a song called Silver and Gold, which is about a miner who gets laid off the mines and he starts to make wedding dresses and he makes one for his daughter. And everyone was crying and everyone knew the
That's a
words.
great song. That.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It was written by a
Yeah.
man called Bryn Phillips. It's a true story as well, apparently.
Mm. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that made me, especially because I was listening to like a lot of like big, like, like US rock bands. And then here's this man that like looks like me, sounds like me, is from the same village as me. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get goosebumps every time I think about it. And I sing that song to my daughter now. And I like
Yeah.
to think that she'll sing that song to her children and it will come from that.
Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah, that was
Yeah.
the big moment when I realized that I don't need to be in a big rock band. I could do this, I could do what he's doing now, and even if I'm not famous, it's still like
Yeah.
such a good thing to have.
Like, I'm so like happy that we're having such a deep conversation. Like when we first met at the Rift Festival, that was great. Like I knew your music already, but when we met, I was like, yeah, come on, like we're gonna work
Yeah,
together now, and that
it was good to meet you properly. That was a good gig as well. I really
oh,
enjoyed
it's a
that.
great gig. To be fair, in the beginning it was alright, and then things
Yeah, yeah,
happened. But
yeah. To be fair, yeah, I left and came back, and there was some drama, but I think the rest of the Saturday and Sunday apparently were okay. So
oh, great, fantastic. Let's go a bit deeper now. Let's go more into your like the EP as well. That was your first kind of not your first, but kind of long work, and
yeah.
like it was written during a time of a lot of thinking, a lot of personal growth. But so what? Well, according to the song, but what was happening in your life at that time?
So I stepped away from music pretty much fully for the first time before I started
Mm.
writing those songs. I'd always been in like at least one or two bands and then done my own songs on the side. And I just kind of burnt out, to be honest. And I stopped playing music
Sure.
entirely for 1 or 2 years. And then I kind of thought I was done with it. And then I was in a really quite a bad place. And what got me out of it was playing music and then showing that music to my friends who were so supportive of me. So I kind of wrote those songs. Some of them were for my friends. Some of them were just trying to get me out of a bad place. And a couple of them I already had lying around. But yeah, it was that kind of project that really kicked me back into gear, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think that's one line I have to remember back properly, but it's imposter saints and lovers, something like
Yeah.
that. Something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
remember.
Was that like characters? What in
Yeah,
your
I think
head?
these are some of the kind of caricatures of the people that I meet, like I'm
Yeah.
very blessed. I have a really interesting life kind of outside of music anyway, and like I meet so many interesting people, some good, some bad, and like yeah, I kind of just wanted to write about them, especially during that time. I was playing bass for a band called Tribo de Soul, which has Parissa Zarifi and Rob Harvey. They were playing in there. And yeah, it was like a big 7-piece band, but they were all songwriters. So it was those guys who like heard these new songs I was writing and come on, like actually get back to doing it. And like, I'm quite a solitary person sometimes. So it was nice. I kind of felt like I needed that kind of push from other people.
I mean, like, listen to your when you did some stuff live as well. Like, you had so many people on the stage doing everything, right?
Mm.
Is it has folk music or your kind of music has always been like a kind of collaborative space for like people to just play music?
Yeah, recently it has become in the studio. It has been, to be honest. And I'm really fortunate with like the live band at the moment. It's quite a new thing. So
Yeah.
I've got a 4-piece band at the moment, but luckily they're all very skilled musicians. I don't need to explain much to them. They can just pick it up really quickly, which is handy. But yeah, there's pros and cons. I do enjoy playing shows by myself because I can change things if I want to. I can change the set list or change little bits as and when. But I have realized, because I always used to be in a band as well as play folk music by myself.
Sure.
And I have really missed that kind of band feeling, bunches on stage, like collaborating. So yeah, I'm really shout out my band. They are great.
Oh, they're amazing. Like I enjoyed the performance, like in the Rift. It was great. It was such a good opener as well. I came kind of late, but yeah, I was vibing with it so much.
Oh, thank you.
That
Yeah, I
chill
think
vibes and
it's like just enough extra stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many full band shows we are gonna announce tomorrow that we're playing at Cafe Etch on the 1st of August as a 4-piece, so
Hmm.
if anyone's
Hmm.
listening from Middlesbrough, please
That'd
buy
be
tickets
great.
to
Yeah. I would go to that.
that. Yeah,
It is Cafe Edge. It's so yeah. I mean, you played there before. Like we want to share our experience about that place because Mozen Jammer and everybody has just been so
yeah.
supportive of the music.
Yeah, those guys have really helped me out since since last year when I really started getting back to it. Like Haley and
Mm.
Modern Jammer have supported me a lot, and Cafe H is one of those good places where they'll kind of like really help people just put on their own
Oh
gigs.
yeah,
They've helped
yeah.
Haley a lot, and you see like a lot of like like metal gigs and industrial noise gigs and like folk gigs, and
Oh,
just it's nice to see like a venue really kind of back like grassroots artists. And
oh yeah, absolutely. Like Cafe Edge has some like if people don't know, like Cafe Edge has some of the most
diverse.
most straightforward, like, original like things that you just don't hear outside. Like it's actually so funny. But
Yeah,
they have
they're a
a
great
full
venue.
lineup as well. But anyways, let's go back to the EP. Like, which track became the most emotional centerpiece of the whole entire EP?
The first one, there's a song on there called Consecutive Towns, and I wrote that as
Mm.
like a little thank you and an apology to my friends as well. Especially my friend Mary Elizabeth Webb, who's a great songwriter. She really helped me
Mm.
kind of get back into writing again. And I wrote that song while I was working from home on like a little break in my bathroom. And
Yeah,
it's one of those where it kind of came out, and I thought, oh goodness, and started writing it. And then 20 minutes later, it was done, and it was quite
yeah,
like kind of like a cathartic. It was a really
cathartic.
it
Yeah,
was a song that I needed to write, to be honest. So I
mm.
think that's my favorite one. Off there.
Yeah, correct. Like, I mean, songwriting is already so difficult, and
Mm.
so did do you think that break kind of helped you to flesh out things like how can you compare like songwriting before and after?
Yeah, it did. It made me appreciate what I had, to be honest, because
Mm.
I realized that I need to make music.
Oh yeah,
it's something that I have to do, and when I do, I'm a lot more on level as a person. But yeah, I think having that break, and there was a time where I didn't have a guitar, and then as soon as I did, it was like, yeah, like this is what I should be doing. But yeah, I
yeah.
think sometimes because I was doing a lot for a long time, I think when you kind of hit that wall and you need to step back and think, right, I do have
Mm.
something that I want to work on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was valuable, yeah, definitely.
I'm sure it was like,
Mm.
and like, I think stopping music was it like self doubt about your kind of creative ability, or was it
Yeah,
just something like,
essentially,
yeah,
and I get it now, and to be honest, I think everyone who's kind of got something are gonna have those moments. I know a lot of good songwriters. I was speaking to Amelia Cloven about it, who's an amazing writer, and my friend
mm,
Gabriel Moreno, who's like I'm a huge fan of. He's like one of my kind of heroes in folk music, and he was saying he has the same thing. Yeah, I think the reasons I stopped were down to that essentially, and then yeah, it's something that I've just tried to work on, and it still comes and goes, but I think it's part and parcel of I think like
yeah,
my partner's an artist and she gets like that. I think you probably get it
yeah,
with the podcast. It's anyone who
yeah,
makes stuff is going to
you
have
know,
those doubts, but we have to keep pushing. I think.
it's how it is sometimes.
Mm,
That's how it is. Let's go to the first song of the EP, Clear from
mm,
Water. Brilliant.
thank you.
It's there's so much, how do you say this? There's so much emotion that you bring from like personal experience in that song. Like, why are local stories so important in your songwriting based on like that
Yeah,
song?
I think it's just what I can draw the most from, really.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what's most important to me. Like that song in particular, it's not so much autobiographical. It's just the
Yeah.
place that we mentioned earlier, Catesty Gill. Actually, it's about that, and it's just about just kind of two people who are drifting apart, just
Uh,
kind of talking there, really. But yeah, it's more imagery, just kind of
yeah, sure.
places in that area. But yeah, that was a song I had for quite a while. That it was kind of half finished, and then I kind of picked it back up last year and just finished it quite quickly. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, so do you take a lot of time to like, do you write songs and you feel like, oh, I'm just going to leave it for a few weeks or months and like, or do you just, I'm just going to finish it now? Like,
Yeah, I think it depends on the song, to be honest.
yeah.
Some of them, like the one I mentioned there, Consecutive Towns, I wrote in like 20, 25 minutes, and then some
Uh,
of them you'll start writing and you'll think, right, this needs to be put away for a while. My most recent single, Riverbank, was like an instrumental bit at the end, like an open kind of like baroque bit at the end. And
yeah.
I realized afterwards that I've had that idea for about 12 years or something, but
Yeah.
it just kind of slotted itself into there. Yeah, it's just
Mm,
kind of tried to be organized, really. That's something I've tried to do lately. So I've got like kind of like folders of what's finished, what's not finished. And yeah,
yeah.
I think some things need to be drafted and need to be kind of worked on, but some things just come
Yeah.
out and they're just done. I think you can
Yeah.
just know when it's done.
Yeah, of course. You know when it's done and you know
Um,
when to put it out, I guess.
yeah.
But like, okay, I had a big question. When I made this question, I was like, yes, I'm gonna ask this question. What's something outsiders often misunderstand about Middlesbrough and like music in Teesside in general?
Yeah, we don't. I don't know. I mean, I want to say that people don't understand how nice we are as an area, but that's maybe a bit basic because people do. I don't
People
know.
do, yeah.
I think we are like a super warm and accepting and like diverse area. You know, I think there's place for
Yeah.
everyone around here musically.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I think people would maybe look at Middlesbrough and not think that there's a great deal going on, or so
You know,
Teesside, and not think there's a great deal going on at all. But it's yeah, it's just an underrated town full stop. I think for
yeah.
creative stuff.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about Stockton yet. Like people just don't know when so many
Mm,
big bands before they go on big
mm,
tours or like
yeah.
that kind of thing, they come to Teesside first, Stockton first, and play there first before anywhere else. Like, I didn't get to go watch the Molotovs. That they're quite big,
Mm,
and they came here. I was like, why are they showing up in Stockton? Like, they
yeah,
could have showed up like anywhere else, you
yeah,
know?
definitely. I think there must be a lot of good promoters. I think the
Yeah,
guys at Cuba and TMA and things, they're all like
yeah,
they've all been doing it for a long time. It's funny to say that we saw Queens of the Stone Age at Stockton Globe the other year,
mm,
and that was similarly obviously like the Globe's a huge venue, but every other
sure,
date on that tour was like a 12,000 seat arena, and then the last date was Stockton High Street, and it was an amazing gig, but it was very
yeah.
strange. Yeah.
It's really weird.
Mm.
Yeah. I want to share something. Like I was going to Stockton College. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, this is amazing. I saw a whole like a that gentleman's band like choir thing, just singing
Yeah,
outside. Like
yeah,
yeah, they're amazing. They sounded amazing, and I was like,
yeah.
everything's happening inside, but they're just there, the whole in their horde singing.
Yeah, I think we walked past them as well. I can't remember is it the
Yeah.
Infant Hercules choir, is it?
Yes,
Or
Eva
I they
Hercules. They're
sound amazing. Yeah, man.
amazing. They're
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Anyways, that was crazy. Stockton Calling. Like, how was Stockton Calling?
Yeah, we didn't see much of it. We didn't have much childcare, but we went for a
Ah,
few
sure.
hours. We saw Moss. Moss are a great band. B sings live with us sometimes, and I love them. Can't remember who else. We saw Amelia Coburn, who again is one of my
Oh,
favorite writers around
yeah.
here. I wanted to go see Robin Erico, who I've just started listening to, but we got there a bit late. But goodness
Yeah.
me, like she's amazing.
She's amazing. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
technically like unbelievable. I can't remember who else we saw. I saw a bit of Northern Hospitality, who I
Yeah.
never
They're
saw
great
before.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't get to see
they're a
a
bit of
lot, to be
mystery.
fair.
Yeah, and Middle Management as well. Success Pit
Such
now.
such a
Yeah,
spit now. Yeah.
Success Pit. Yeah, they're a sick band as
I
well.
would ask them about why they changed the name, to be fair, because
Mm,
bands don't change their names.
yeah,
Anyways, yeah, Robin, like, she's the second or third guest that I ever had, and like, she was so
yeah,
lovely. That was great to chat with her, and when I went to her release show as well. That was
yeah.
incredible.
I've still never seen her live. I don't know her personally, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
started listening to her music just before Stockton Calling. I was
yeah.
like blown away massively.
Oh,
I know
yeah,
she plays with Amelia. She's obviously very, very
yeah.
skilled.
Of
Yeah,
course, she plays with Amelia. Yeah, yeah. I
very
mean,
skilled.
but question would be like, would you ever have a collaboration with Amelia?
Oh, of course, got to would, 100%. I mean, for one, I would get a lot more Spotify streams if I
No,
did.
well,
And two, she's also like an
I
amazing
think
songwriter. So
Yeah, I think if she's not that busy, I'll give her a ring and tell her.
yeah, we'll
Because
see.
I would love that because she has that sound. She has her own thing. And
Yeah, yeah, she's an
if
amazing,
you guys
amazing.
mix, it'll be I don't know.
One day,
I don't know, man.
one day, hopefully. But
One day.
she's been mentoring me through Sonic Futures since
Yeah,
January. So shout out Sonic Futures for sorting that, and
yeah,
Amelia as well because she's helped me a lot with stuff, and she's kind of gone like above and beyond to put me in touch with some people, which she hasn't had
yeah.
to do. So yeah,
Of course.
I'm a big fan, and I was a big fan of her music before that. To be honest, she's
Yeah, of course.
yeah, great.
Yeah, great. And there was a long gap between Robin Erico and her. Me
Yeah,
doing the interview. I was like, I completely forgot. That's just too much things to do. Oh, let's talk another song. Let's talk about Dream Song TS10. What a
mm,
long name for a
yeah,
song. It's a love letter. I get it. But
yeah.
like what was the inspiration for that song and when did you start writing it?
Yeah, so Dreams on TS10's the EP. It's about it's just
Ah, yeah.
four track, just about Redcar. Because I was living in Redcar at the time
Mm.
for
Yeah,
about a year.
TS10, you know.
Yeah, and it was the first time I spent time in Redcar, so I just wrote kind of four songs about that period of my life. It was a really kind of up and down time, but I
Mm.
like the songs quite a lot, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like do you compare that with like your newer songs like Riverbank or the
Yeah, there's
EP or
comparisons. I'm trying to just keep going, to be honest. There's things that I wish I'd done on my old EPs now that I would
mm,
do now, but it's
yeah,
just a case of, like, you can't change things really. So, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I do. There's a song on there, The Gare, that I really like. That's when we were saying earlier about kind of people thinking that it's
mm,
about dark things. So I played a gig with a band called Boy Found Sound, who were really good as well. And he listens to that song, The Gare, like walking down the Gare with his son. And it's quite a
mm.
positive song for him, but the actual song itself is about something really quite dark. So like, I was quite happy that he was able to take that song and like it's something quite positive for him, which made me happy.
Yeah,
'Cause, like
yeah,
initially it wasn't, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, like you said, like your songs are sad. Well, they're not.
Just
Well,
open to interpretation, I think. I think
yeah,
if you've got some kind of abstract imagery, people can kind of make what they want of it, which is
what they
what I
want.
want
Yeah,
people to do. Yeah, I don't want to be too direct with
yeah,
people.
yeah. But I mean, do you enjoy that kind of part of songwriting? Like you just make the song as open as possible, like, for people.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, sometimes I wish that I could write more kind of direct, even, like a protest song, for example, but it's
Oh
just not
yeah,
really, it's
it's
not
not.
what I'm good
Yeah,
at. There's a lady called Sue Conroy who plays folk around Middlesbrough now, and she's a fantastic, kind of like Billy Bragg, Frank Turner kind of, like protest songs. And I
yeah,
think she wants to write stuff more like me, and I want to write stuff more like her. But my favorite songwriter is a guy called Sam Beam who records under the name Iron and Wine, and a lot of his songs are kind of just like paintings, really. Just like little metaphors
yeah.
and kind of like images
Sure.
without saying too much, and just leaves it kind of open to the listener.
Yeah, that's great. Like,
Mm.
yeah. Do you ever write songs knowing that they may never be released?
Yeah, 100%. I've got a lot
I'm
of
sure
them.
you do.
I've got a lot of them. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, like, I've got a bunch of songs that I'm working on now that eventually are gonna be an album, and there's some that have fallen by the wayside. It's
mm,
just, yeah, I think some of them don't have a place on some records, I mean, sometimes, yeah, you just come back and forth to things, but there's definitely stuff that I'm working on now that won't be released, but I try and be,
uh,
maybe this is helpful for other younger songwriters than me, like, I try to set time aside every week to write new music. I think it's important that you have to keep writing new stuff, even if, like, I'm
mm,
working on projects now, you always need to be working on new ideas. It's what we
yeah,
should be doing, I think, yeah.
yeah, of course. I mean, well, talking about writing songs, what's the most honest lyric or line of music that you've ever written?
Well, the most honest lyrics are a song called "Hands of Autumn" on my first EP, These Witching Hours, purely
Mm,
because it's from my daughter, so that's
uh,
pretty autobiographical. I try and play that
yeah,
often
sure.
live because it's just, how happy I am to be a father, so yeah, that's fairly
That's the
honest.
best thing, isn't it?
Oh, do you have kids? I didn't realize.
No, I'm not married yet.
Well, one day, yeah, it is the best. It's a great job one day, but yeah, yeah. Usually, you can tell who the parents are. There's like
Oh yeah.
one or two mums are crying like when I play that song, which is the name of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to teach Sunday school back in Malaysia, and that
Okay,
was they might be as loud as God
yeah,
knows, but but
no,
yeah,
it's
I don't
very
know, but
loud.
yeah. Do you? I mean, you're a parent of kids.
Mhm.
Like, do you think like children nowadays are getting so engrossed with social media and like just are they just being different to like indifferent to like music?
Yeah, I think it is a problem. We always like try and read as much as we can to our daughter. She's only 5, but she still obviously wants
Yeah.
porn already. And then I
Yeah.
think a lot of just life these days in society seems to be shortcuts. Like, I
Mm.
saw the guy from Google AI saying that, the bad
Oh
bit
yeah.
about the bad thing about learning music is that it's really hard to do. So maybe people, but that's the whole point. We have to,
Yeah.
things should be hard to do. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think, in young people or maybe in society as a whole, I think social media is part of it, but I think people just kind
Mm.
of want quicker routes to instant
Oh yeah.
gratification, really, which is it's never
Yeah.
good.
That's why making podcasts is so difficult.
Mm.
The amount of people I get views. Well, I do it for myself and
Yeah, this is the
for the
thing,
artist.
and I think consistently doing things for a long
Mm.
time eventually will yield results.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I've still got barely any Spotify listeners, but it's gradually going up. And
Yeah.
I think in 10 years' time, hopefully it will go up a bit more. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think if
No, no.
I've spoke to young bands before where they're really, really good, and it's like, guys, just stay together for 2 or 3 years, and
Oh yeah.
you'll get somewhere. But to them, like when you're 17, 18, 2 or 3 years, it's like it's age away. So
It's ages.
mm,
Absolute ages.
yeah,
Like I love Risco. They're from Stockton, the
yeah,
band there. Just God.
I haven't seen them
They
yet.
rock, but still they're crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
They opened for Marketplace, didn't they, last week in
yeah, I
Hartlepool?
was there for. I did the interview with them
Oh,
with
really?
Marketplace and Risco. Couldn't really stay long, but that was fun. That was good. It was a lot of things happened that just didn't work out. Like cameraman didn't show up and whatever.
Oh,
But
right.
yeah, but you know, if you watch it now, it's the most messiest thing I've ever created. But to be fair, the sound
Mhm.
isolation is pretty good. I was
Yeah.
surprised. I was actually surprised. Anyways, yeah. You've spoken about the impact Vin Garvet
Mm.
had on you as a young
Mhm.
musician. Like,
Yeah.
what was the most what made that experience so powerful?
Like I said earlier, it's just the fact that I felt like it was someone that I knew already, you know, like he
Oh,
was so clearly from Loftus, which is like there's not many people from Loftus, you know, he had the same accent, the same
yeah.
kind of patter. And yeah, just how the fact that you like knew everyone, and yeah, the fact that you could go from just being like a kind of man in the corner of a pub to like the most magnetic kind of,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, what lessons did you learn from him? Like the things that he told like crowds and or like things that he has done with his music.
Yeah, so I try to talk a bit more between songs now because of him. I'm not very good at
Mm.
like, you know, talking as much as him, but I realize I never used to talk much like between songs, and I realized that if you don't, people have no idea what's, you know, like where you're coming from, what the song's about. So like, you need to do a bit of something beforehand.
Yeah.
And he gave me some good advice because I played bass at the open mic before him, and he told me to
Hmm.
play less notes on the bass guitar, like, you know, like start more, and then, you know, I think I started the song really busy. He was like, it's okay to end that way, but start it gently, and then,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. So that was good
Oh,
advice as well.
that's good advice. Criticism, anything that you want to say about it, like, and like that must be such a powerful kind of thing, like you said in your life that these things happen. Like, I mean, if I ask you what's the most memorable thing in your life, you would say your kids, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But like other than the kids and other than the music and stuff,
It's
like
up there.
what other things?
I don't know really. I remember all the things. I don't know. I train martial arts also, so I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is something I'm really,
Mm.
really bad at. Like naturally, I think naturally I was quite good at music. I picked that up really quickly. With this, it took me years, and I like the first belt up from white belt is a blue belt, which took me a very, very long time. I got that last year, and I was super,
Yeah,
super proud because
you're
although it took
proud.
me
Yeah.
ages, most people quit before that. So that's probably like
Oh yeah.
one of my biggest moments. That's like my other passion
Yeah.
outside of music is trying to,
Yeah.
stay
Great.
healthy and things.
Yeah. Do you watch other sports as well in general, or?
Yeah, yeah. I follow football a bit and watch a bit of MMA and things like that. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I've asked like football lovers all the time, like, who's gonna win the World Cup?
yeah. We'll see, Julie. We'll see.
We'll see what happens to England.
Yeah, or perhaps like someone. I wanted to put like a £5 bet. If it was a gambling man, I'd say someone like a Morocco or Tunisia. If they're in there, I don't know. We'll see.
That would be huge.
Be a good
It's
bet.
so hard for any African team to win, but it's apparently it's pretty hard in America right now.
Yeah,
Pretty hard. Yeah.
yeah. It'd
I
be
mean,
interesting to see how they cope with it, America. Anyway, I saw that
oh,
there's some controversy over the pitches as well. The pitches aren't up to European standards or something, but
it's not up to European standards.
apparently the ball's not bouncing enough. I saw
Not bouncing
yeah,
enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
It,
Senegal
I mean,
team was kicking off earlier, but never
yeah.
mind.
I mean, you see the England team as well. Like, the training, like I'm talking about football now, it's
Mm,
crazy. But you watch them doing the training, and Thomas Tuchel is just bouncing the ball on the
yeah,
ground,
yeah,
trying to figure out what on earth is this.
yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Well, yeah, I'm going to say England.
Oh,
That's
come
who
on,
won his own.
anyway. Yeah, I'm Malaysian, but the only team I support is England because I stayed here.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Oof, I wouldn't support any other team, otherwise I get booed, in the
Yeah.
pub. Like, let's talk about live performance
Mm,
experience. So
mhm.
that's gonna be a fun journey. What's the first gig you ever done alone, as in with your own song?
The first gig alone I ever played was in the Vault Bar in Stockton, which is just opposite Cuba. I'm not sure if it's still
Yeah,
open. I think it is maybe
don't
still open. It
not.
used to be a stage for Stockton Calling as well. But
Mm,
yeah, I played there. I can't remember, probably to about 4 or 5 people. But I
yeah.
remember it going quite well. I remember not being very prepared, but thinking then this is quite good, like
Mm,
people were quite impressed. I was about 15, 16. And I think
Yeah.
the songs I had then were quite mature for a kid
Oh
of
yeah.
that age. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, people were quite happy with it.
Yeah. But do you think like I mean your genre kind of has that maturity already in itself? Like, do you feel like at that age you were pretty much mature and like the way you were thinking about things?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, by that point, by the time I was 16, I'd been playing in like functions bands with like guys in the 30s for a year or so. So
Yeah.
I was consuming probably like a lot of music that people my age weren't, and like listening to a lot of stuff and
Oh,
reading a lot. And yeah, so yeah. I think if you were writing a folk song from like a 16-year-old's perspective, it wouldn't be very interesting. Like you have to like have a bit
that'd be
more
funny.
glamour in there. Mm.
That'd be so funny. How different does a Gladtown Ghost song feel live compared to a studio version?
Yeah, quite different to be honest. Obviously, like sometimes I'm playing by myself, so it differs there. And just I've realized now that playing with a band that differs from the studio side as well.
Oh, of
Kind of
course.
everyone's got their own kind of swing on things live. And yeah, like in the studio, it's quite a process to be honest. Like we do spend quite a lot of time recording. Where live, it's more of I want it to be more of a jam band feel. Like
Mm,
there's
yeah.
parts in our songs that where the guys just said, "What should we play here?" And I'm not telling you. No, we'll make it up. 'Cause I think part of us, like, especially, I don't want it to be like a band where I'm the band leader. I want it to be more of
Uh,
especially if we're all there, and they're all fantastic musicians. I'm not really qualified to tell them what to do.
yeah, sure, but
Mm.
you know, they still must know like the idea of the songs and like your kind of music theory
Yeah,
about things.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, I think live, I want us to be like more of an indie band, but like, or kind of
Yeah.
like have elements of like post rock, or like the XX or like alt J, kind of big epic kind of soundscapey indie,
Mm,
but kind of back in
yeah.
the folk band. That's the kind of the brief that I had for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Crazy. And like, which song consistently gets the strongest reaction from audiences?
Hey, it's easy on this. So I have a song called Red Car Shoe Shop Dream, which I wrote as
Yeah.
like a bit of a joke almost. Just like I wrote it as like a warm up. And it's like a silly 90-second kind of half comedy song. And I played that to my friend Gabriel Marino, who I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of. Everyone should listen to him. He's an amazing
Mm.
songwriter. And I was really excited. I played a couple of tour dates with him. I was so excited. And I played all my songs and I played that one last. And he was like, he's from Gibraltar, so I won't do the accent, but he was going, Dale, that song is the best song you've written. It's amazing. I wish I'd written it. I was like, yeah, that's cool, but it took me 2 seconds to write. Like I've got all these other ones, and it is funny. Yeah. And I played that for guys called a man called Adam, Sally, and Steve, who were like quite big promoters and DJs, and they were exactly the same. Like they were like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is our best song. So I thought, well, maybe it is then. But yeah,
Yeah, I did hear that song. And that was great. I was trying to get the video of it, and I was like, "Oh, it's already done." Okay, that was great. Yeah, everybody loves it.
thank you.
Well, people know. Has there ever been a gig that where literally everything was just not happening? Like it was just
Yeah.
damning. Like,
Not so much technical issues. I had a gig at Cafe H recently where the microphone broke, and I told a
oh,
joke
bro.
while I replaced microphones, and that was a
Yeah.
good buzz. It was the first time I'd told a joke, and I thought stand-up comedians have got like some nerve because afterwards I was shaking. Like 2 or 3 people laughed, and I was shaking afterwards because it was really scary.
Oh God.
But then, yeah, there was one gig I played at Any Volume Bar opening for Finn Foster like a couple of years ago. I think it was before my daughter was born. So, but yeah, 5 or 6 years ago. And yeah, it was just like nothing really went bad as such, but just when things felt flat and she made a couple of
Yeah.
minor mistakes and like the guitar didn't feel right. It was one of those where I thought I'm really not having a very good time here. But
Yeah.
generally these days I try and practice a lot more to stop that from happening. But
Yeah. But I mean, some people can play so naturally. Some people need all the practice you can get. Like,
yeah,
but
this is.
is it the practice that helps now?
I think so, yeah, because I'm naturally, not naturally, I am okay at guitar now, but I think sometimes as a solo artist, you fall into the trap of not practicing enough or not rehearsing your set enough. So,
Mm,
say if I was playing a gig tomorrow night, I'd have an hour or two where I'd treat it as a band practice, but just by myself. I'd like run the
yeah.
entire set, kind of time how long it takes. I think there's definitely, like one of the good things about playing by yourself is that you can do what you want, but you should have some idea of where you're going with it. It definitely makes things a
Oh
lot
yeah.
easier. Mm.
Yeah.
That's
Of
something I've only
course.
started doing in the last year or so, and I've noticed it's definitely made me a lot calmer when performing live, especially
which,
solo.
which is so good. Like
Mm,
your songs are already calming in a sense. So
mm.
like it should be feeling it, I guess. You
Yeah,
know.
exactly. This
Yeah.
has been one of the
Yeah.
interesting things about playing with a band because my only experience of playing in bands is super, super loud, heavy bands. So
Oh
the
yeah.
the first full band gig we had, I kind of had all those nerves, and I thought I
Mm.
kind of want to walk out and go crazy, but I've got to walk and go, hello, and play nice, gentle folk music. So it's weird kind of harnessing
Yeah.
those nerves, but putting them out gently
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
kind of exploding.
Yeah. What makes a great audience for you? Because everybody has their different opinion about it.
Yeah, for this kind of stuff, a quiet audience is great. I'm really lucky that, like, for the last year or two, I haven't played a loud room, like, I only kind of played,
Yeah.
luckily, touch wood, like, most of the gigs I play now, kind of everyone gets the memo and it's nice, quiet audiences. But when I was younger, kind of playing to, like, really loud,
Mm.
full pubs with people just talking over you.
Yeah.
I'm just sort like, I understand why people do it, obviously, if it's just me and a guitar, it is quiet, but yeah, it's really not the best thing. But then conversely, when you've got a room full of people that are really quiet, and it's like the best feeling in the world for a solo artist.
Oh,
For me.
that's great. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's really good. I mean, you talk about that and like, what's your advice to people just starting out now? Because it's so difficult.
Mhm.
It's so difficult now, starting on music. Like, you just don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah, I would say just like we said earlier, just stay consistent and try to not take criticism like personally, and try to not wear your influences too directly. Like, I think
mm,
some people you can kind of tell that they've listened to a band and they're trying to replicate that band. I think
yeah,
it's okay to kind
yeah,
of take influences, but take them gently. And yeah, just like we said earlier, things take time, so take time. Like,
yeah,
I think I won't name names, but I know a songwriter around here, and he's always saying, I'm not getting the opportunities, I'm not getting the gigs, but I feel like saying, just give it time, keep working, keep
yeah,
writing, and don't be disheartened, and it will happen. I like, not that I'm anywhere now, but I'm playing some bigger gigs this year, and I think people think that I'm like, I've been handed this opportunity, but I've been doing it since I was 16. I'm 32
yeah,
now. It's
of course.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gigs,
Yeah,
and now I'm playing some good ones. So, but I think you should just do it if you love it. I think if you love it enough, you'll do it anyway. You'll know that you need to
mm,
do it because it's all that you think about.
yeah. Oh, that I love speaking to songwriters because yeah, that's all you think about sometimes.
Mm,
It's just
yeah.
music. Let's talk about the future a bit. Like you said, you're planning really for
Mm,
an album. Like
yeah.
when would that when is your target release time, and like what's the idea? What's the main idea in the whole album? Because this is your big work.
Yeah, so I've got a bit ahead of myself because the songs I'm releasing at the moment, Riverbank's the first song off an EP
Mm.
that will be
Hmm.
out by the end of the year.
Oh, fair enough.
So
Yeah.
it's all recorded. We're bringing out a single at the end of this month called Exam Papers and a video, and then we'll have an EP out by the end of the year. And then
Okay. Then
I've
yeah,
got an
fair enough.
album that I'm working on in the background as well. So
Mm.
we'll have an EP out by the end of the year, and then hopefully by 2028, I'm working on a big album. It's like taking up a lot of my time. It's like a big
Oh yeah.
story about kind of like three generations of men from the area that are kind of trying to break a cycle of, just silly things.
That would be so good. Like the whole kind of album, just one story, but
Yeah,
that's you. That's you.
yeah.
That's your music.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm trying to spend a bit more time in between like songs this year, just to give myself a bit more time in the studio, because
Mm.
I'm trying to really work hard on something that I think will be great when it's done. But yeah, it's just nice to
Yeah.
have the time and the opportunity to be, and the support of people that are actually like wanting to listen to what I'm doing at the moment. It's really mind blowing. It's
Oh,
really good.
it's so good. Like I love your music. I know a lot of people love your music as well. Like you should be played more everywhere in this place.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, I hope, yeah, because I got a lot of friends from the South. So, I
Mm.
mean, they would relate. They would love to hear your songs. And
Thank
like, what other live performances are you doing? Like, besides the Cafe Age stuff
Yeah,
and,
so this weekend, June the 7th, we're playing as a two-piece, myself and B. Davison singing at Marapalooza Festival.
mm,
And next Sunday, I'm opening for a great great songwriter called Joe Tholo in Mass. And then in August, we're on tour. We're playing kind of everywhere in the Northeast, really. Playing about
yeah,
eight gigs in 7 days, I think. Going down to
yeah,
London. If anyone's from London listening, come to the Gladstone Arms on the 4th of August. We'll be rocking there.
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
just we're playing with opening for the Unfanks in September, which is just ridiculous. Like some of the
Absolutely
opportunities
bonkers.
I've got this year are just like
Yeah,
kind of pinch me, to be honest. It sounds like
yeah.
cliche, but it's really strange. But yeah,
Yeah. I had a final question in my script, but I want to ask a different question.
yeah,
Like in when your kid is 20 years old and he looks back at your songs, it's like, oh, my dad just did this
yeah.
and whatever. And like, what would I mean? It is far away, but like,
Mm.
what would you like them to say about your song?
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'd like her to say. That's my main inspiration, to be honest. Like when we
Yeah.
say like what are your goals? I remember like Amelia saying, "What are your goals in music?" And to be honest, it's just to like record and release as much as I can in order to leave behind a big body of work for my kids to listen to. It's all
Yeah.
it's the name of the game. To be honest, it's what I want is for something to be left behind when I'm not here. But
Yeah.
what she'll make of it, I'm not sure. But she'll know me better from it. That's for sure. And
Yeah.
I don't know what she'll think.
I don't know.
Hopefully she'll think that her dad was good with words.
Yeah. I feel that she would be studying your things, and maybe become a musician as well.
She will be, yeah. She you can already see she's got a couple of melodies that I've pinched
Yeah.
already.
Oh, that's amazing. Like I wish my kids would have that.
I
But
wonder.
no, well, they might see my podcast and are like, oh, he's doing a podcast.
Yeah,
That's a bit
wonder.
boring. I mean, oh, Dale, it's been amazing having you on. Like,
Yeah, that was
thanks
really
so
good.
much for
Thank
coming
you.
on, man.
Thank you. Yeah, we went pretty deep there.
I enjoyed it pretty much.
Thank you.
That was sick. Thanks.